Hello everyone, it's Dan here from Thomas Road Support. I'm just going to take you through a few basic tips and tricks on how to speed up your WordPress website. Okay, so at the moment I've just created a fresh domain using our Quoon WordPress theme. I've imported the demo content so we've got something to look at, and I'm just going to show you how you would gauge the page size of your website and how you can improve things relatively easily. Okay, so probably the biggest thing we see on support is people using unoptimized images. This may not be something you're aware of, especially if you're just uploading raw images, but image optimization has probably got the biggest impact on page speed. So if you're uploading a whole bunch of fat unoptimized images, say 1 megabyte plus in size, a couple of these on a web page is going to treble the actual amount of data that has to be sent over, so you're going to see slowdown and performance issues on mobile, especially on desktop. Pretty much everywhere it's just going to be kind of sluggish and slow. Now, as we can see by the demo, the theme is certainly capable of being very quick, but this does rely on the fact that you're using images that are ready for the internet. To kind of judge how you've done with your images, if you're not familiar and just want to get an overview of see what images could be improved on your site, a good tool to go to is the Pingdom website checker. For the sake of this, we'll just Google Pingdom speed test, and you see there it comes straight up. And just to get an idea, we're going to take the URL of our site, we're going to pop it in here and see what Pingdom has to say. Just while that's loading, it's important to point out your browser will probably have its own solution for this. However, just so we've got a level playing field, I've used this online source because it's very good, very reliable, and it would be the same results if you are following along this video. You can follow along on whatever computer or browser you're using. Right, so that's now run. It's given us a score, which we're kind of not really interested in at the moment. The scores are kind of not the key point, really. The main thing is to make sure you've got a decent loading time and decent page size. So in this case, because the demo content is very well optimized, it's pretty good already. But what you're looking out for here, if you scroll through all of these, it may look a bit gobbledygook, but we can see we've got a few large numbers here. Now these are the images that are being used, so we've got this slide bottom. If we take a quick look, this is just that image from the demo. We've got this slide top, such another one. So already we've got a couple of reasonably large images, certainly well within the limits, but they could be improved further. Just scroll up and down, just see what if you've got any images that flag out as being particularly fat. So again, you can see here we've got a few more, around about 150 kilobytes. Ideally, when you're uploading images to your website, you would aim for, say, if it's a slider image, something in one of these larger areas here, no more than 200 kilobytes. We often see several times files that size. Files several times that size, and as I've mentioned, these will have a huge impact. So it's important to make sure that your images are at most 200 kilobytes. Any less that you can do is only going to be an improvement. But you can see just with the tool from Pingdom here, we can have a pretty decent rundown of what's going on and how we can improve it. But how can you get things even better? Well, there are a couple of plugins. Once you've sorted out the images, you can use a plugin such as so if you wanted to improve things further, where do you go from here? Well, the first thing will probably be installing a Cashin plugin. Now there are loads available. W3 Total Cache is fantastic, but it's incredibly tricky to set up well. It would really depend on your particular hosting and your server environment, so unless you're a pro or you're happy to read many tutorials, a good alternative solution is one called Zen Cache. which is a pretty fantastic plugin. It handles quite a lot of things for you. Basically what this will do is take a snapshot of your website and serve that again rather than generating it on each request. I won't go too deep into that at this particular point, but it's just something that you probably have heard bandied around quite a lot, and it's always a good idea to have a Cashin plugin installed. Another one you may wish to look at is the Auto-Optimize. Just have a quick look here. We are going to be doing a blog series about this, so I will obviously paste all the full links there for you. But something like the this plugin here, what that does is actually minify and compress the source code from the page. So from the browser's point of view, if we look at the source code, it will try and compress as much of this as you can into as small a space as possible, so there'll be very few gaps. It won't be very readable, but from a page speed point of view, it's just going to improve just that little bit more. So anyway, we've just done a couple of tips for now, how to get things a bit speedier in your WordPress install. Hopefully you'll be able to follow along in the blog post which we've got coming next week for this. If there's any questions, obviously just let me know in the comments, or if you need any help, come and see me at support. Thanks for watching.